Say hi back. Say hi. Good.
525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
All right, you guys. I am so touched that you guys all showed up, didn't leave me here on a Thursday morning, which is actually evening for you. I just want to make sure if Moses, my team in Kenya, is on the call, which they are not. That's okay. I'm sure they're going to be joining shortly. Let me just get my WhatsApp on. 1 second. So yeah, so thank you so much for showing up. I'm so touched, like you're gonna make me cry. Anyway, so I wanted to introduce you to Moses and Frida Sarah, but they're not here. So we'll go into that later. And I wanted to say Karibu. Karibu means welcome. Oh, and here they are. Here they are. The dream team. Here they come, my beautiful team. Sometimes it takes up, so the Wi-Fi is not like Wi-Fi for us in Kenya. So it takes them a little bit to join.
There we go.
And where are they? Oh, hold on. Farida Sarah, and there you go. Farida Sarah's there, at least. So yeah, it's 2 a.m. for Farida Sarah. So Farida Sarah is our social media dynamo. She's also a mom of 3 kids, and she does all of our administration. And we also call her the laser, because she has a laser focused way of cutting through the fog, let's say, whenever we're going around in circles. And Moses is not here. I don't know where he is, but that's okay. Moses just became a church elder, which really is a huge honor in Kenya. And it's maybe the ultimate leadership position in their community. So thank you so much for Farida Sarah for showing up in the middle of the night. So to give you an idea of where we're going to do 4 things today. First, I'd like to give you a quick exercise which mirrors an exercise that we teach the girls in the Dream, Believe, Repeat program. Next, we're going to talk a little bit about why we're doing the work we do. And because I know that many of you read the presentation, I'm not going to go over some things because I don't want to be repetitive. I have to let someone in. Okay, here comes Moses. Okay. And then we have a 3-minute video to show you. And finally, we'll open it up to questions, and we'd be happy to hear any suggestions that you might have for us around our programs as well as our fundraising. And if you're very lucky, we might show you how we end all of our workshops, which is with a dance performance. So yeah, so we'll try to keep our presenting part to about 20 minutes, and rates. And I wanted to ask you guys all a question to start. Raise your hand if you feel like every single day right now is a marathon and you're so busy rushing around and preparing for the holidays that you have no time to breathe. Every time I get on the phone with my sister, this is what she told me. Okay, I'm going to let somebody else in. Great. So I'm seeing some hands being raised. All right, there's Kara with her hand. Yeah, no, it's a crazy time. Okay, and in Kenya too, because the school year actually just ended and they all have their kids home for 2 months. So you can imagine what a nutty time it is. So I'd like to lead you guys through a quick exercise, and it's going to take It's going to take 5 minutes. And someone's sending me something in the chat. Oh, okay. Kara, make you a co-host so you can let people in. Hold on 1 second, honey. 1, 2, Kara is going to be our co-host. Thanks, Kara. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, so lean back in your chair and rest your hands on the top of your thighs with your legs hip distance apart and your feet flat on the floor. Relax your eyelids, allowing your gaze to soften and rest unfocused. Breathe deeply, inhaling through the nose and then exhaling through your lips, like you're gently letting air out of a balloon. Inhale for a count of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then exhale for a count of 6. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop counting and allow your breathing to fall into a natural and easy rhythm. Pay attention to what your breaths feel like. Tune into the rising and falling sensation in your body from your belly to your shoulders. Continue to be aware of your breathing. If random thoughts like work tasks, Christmas shopping, errands, deadlines pop into your head, do not push them out or linger on them. Instead, imagine each one as a harmless cloud floating on by. This will help you acknowledge the thoughts and preoccupations of your mind without responding to them emotionally. If a thought still doesn't drift away from your mind, take a few seconds to acknowledge it and then gently return your focus to your breath. If this occurs again, just repeat the process without judgment or reaction. They are just clouds floating by our field of awareness. Release your focus and simply sit. Remind yourself that there is nothing to fix, nothing to do, and nothing to change. Think about something you're grateful for, such as spending time with friends or family, even having a chance to slow down and meditate in this moment. Then gradually transition your thoughts to how you feel physically, the relaxed state of your muscles and the steadiness of your heartbeat. Now I'm going to invite you to imagine a beautiful open plain with a blue sky taking up half of the horizon. It's a peaceful place. And maybe there's a giraffe whose long, graceful neck is reaching into a treetop in search of food. And underneath this tree is a girl. She lays the book she's reading in her lap, and she looks out over the plain, and she feels hope for her future. And she feels clarity around where she's going. She's a symbol for every girl you've ever known who has struggled and made it to the other side of the struggle. So now imagine your whole body is filling up with a warm light from your toes all the way up to your forehead. And now I invite you to blast that light right out of your forehead towards that girl. Blast her with light and love and strength and courage. 4 things she's going to need growing up in Kenya. And watch her receive those 4 things and fill up with light. Now take one big breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 breath out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly open your eyes. So, what was that like for you? Does 1 or 2 of you want to share what that was like?
I'll share.
Okay.
Hi, Valerie. That was very necessary and relaxing. I've not had a mental break like that in a long time, and it's a really stressful time of the year for me, and I really needed it. And it was very gratifying to focus on a young girl and thinking of them in Kenya and empowering them just with that support that we're all kind of encircling you and your team and this organization for. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I mean, we all need to do this more often. There's tons of guided meditations online that I've found. And this is one of the exercises that we do with our girls in the mindfulness and meditation workshop, because our goal is to give them a toolbox from which they can literally pluck a tool whenever they need it. And this one is about becoming grounded when you're going through something really challenging and you want to give up, and because life has become really hard, or there's something really triggering going on and you just want to quiet your mind and reach a state of calm. Because when we're in an emotional state, and this is what I tell them, the thinking part of our brain literally shuts down. So it's important to have a tool that enables you to shift and go back to a state of calm so that you can think and make good decisions for yourself, which is something that girls are doing every single day because of a lot of challenges that they face. So thanks for playing along with us on that. So we truly believe that no one succeeds in this world on their own. It takes the support and nurturing of mentors, friends, family, colleagues, partners, and our team has been exceptionally lucky in this regard. First of all, I really want to thank Linda Rendelman, whose foundation, Women Like Us, was the inspiration for Romy and my trip to Kenya in 2018. And she's been a great mentor for me around creating our CBO, which is like an NGO in Kenya. And the Women Like Us Foundation is now our fiscal sponsor, which means that people donating from the US will be able to get a tax donation. So that's really important. Jennifer Gardner, who thought up the name for this program and helped us with our budget organization and how to keep a budget, which is something I've always struggled with. Lisa Freeman Connor, who so generously poured her heart and soul into creating our beautiful logo and branding, which has allowed us to have a sense of pride in our outward communications and even on the t-shirts that the girls wear in our workshops. My dear friend Jen Griffin and Jacqueline Jackson, who together with me make up our coaching team, and their workshops, which are on growth mindset and sex education, are really powerful and some of the girls' favorites. The idea for this virtual Christmas party came from something that I saw my friend Trisha Windu with her really important cause, Find the Cause, which does such important work. So thanks for the inspiration. And lastly, the kick in the butt came a few weeks ago from our dear friend and very talented fundraiser and party thrower, Kate Friedman, who agreed to coach us on how to get our message out and encourage us to be brave and very proud of what we achieved and share that with all of you. So many thanks to you all. And I'd love to personally thank the DBR team on the ground in Kenya, who makes all that magic happen. It's my honor to know you and work with you. And I really want to thank you for the joy and the laughter that we share together, because I think that it permeates everything that we do. So why is this work so important? With all the worthy causes in the world, why is this project so important to us? And to me, even, and because I'm an American, I'm living in Japan, I don't live in Kenya. Well, I think of the World Cup this year and all the conversations around that it's generated around things that have nothing to do with soccer. And those conversations are about human rights, whether unfair things are happening in our backyard or across the ocean, they have an impact on all of humanity, on all of us. So when I learned about the number of girls dropping out of school in Kenya because of challenges that are particular to girls growing up in Kenya, and Moses called me and asked him if we could partner on finding a solution, I thought about a few things. Obviously, I thought about the importance of education in all of our lives. I thought about times in my life when someone reached out and supported me. And I thought about Romy and how she had a lot of challenges. But despite those challenges, she had one important thing, and that was people who believed in her. And that's one of the things that I talk about with the girls right from the beginning, that even if they don't have a parent, which some of our girls don't have parents, or they don't have someone that they can count on, that we as a team, the Dream, Believe, Repeat team, believes in them. And it's really, really interesting to watch their faces when I say that to them. So I'm going to pass it to Farida Sarah to talk to you through some of the actual challenges that girls face in Kenya, which is, they're all things that, we don't even think about in the way that we've grown up. Farida.
Yes, thank you so much, Valerie, for taking us through the initial parts. Yeah, those in Kenya have got a lot of challenges. Some of them are gender-based violence, youth marriage, which is really on the rise, lack of access to birth control, peer pressure, and even pressure from their families to get out of school, pressure to have sex. This is because they lack the necessities, and sometimes they give sex in exchange of these things. And it's a very sad situation to think that can exist in a girl's life. And abortion is illegal. Like just recently, a fourth form candidate that was supposed to be sitting for our national exams right now passed away. An 18-year-old lady. She passed away after delivery. She's right now in the month, and the little boy, maybe she's alive. So it's because of such challenges. Yeah, so just in peace. Lack of sanitary towels, which can make most of these girls miss going to school because they're embarrassed. So their absenteeism level is very high. and lack of school fees because of poverty rate is very high. So most parents cannot afford to take their girls to school because the little money that they can afford is used at home to buy food. So most of them drop out because of these many challenges that we have listed here. So Val, I'll take it back to you.
Yes. So I just want to say that in the past 2 months, as you were saying, Farida Sarah, 2 girls, one was 15 and she had to get, well, she got an illegal abortion and she's 15 and she died. And another girl, arrived at the hospital at 17 years of age in labor, and they gave her a cesarean section and she died. That was last week. So what we are realizing is the program that we do talks a lot about, consent, protecting your body, having confidence to do other things with your life than get married. And we realize that what we're doing is actually a life-saving operation. Teenage pregnancy and motherhood rate in Kenya stands at 18%. This implies that about 1 in every 5 teenage girls between the ages of 15 and 19 years have either had a live birth or are pregnant with their first child. And the rate increases rapidly with age, from 3% among girls age 15 to 40% among girls age 19. So can you imagine 40% of the girls 19 years old have either had a child or are pregnant? So we built this program around what we thought were the things missing from a girl's formal education and things that could really propel her forward towards a future that she can believe in. And a lot of that is helping them create a vision for where they want to go. We also have them do online strengths assessments so that they know which strengths to leverage in life and when choosing a career. And we drill down on their values and what's important to them. And we speak to them about having a growth mindset. And by the way, these are things that I wish I had had as a teenager. It would have made my path a lot less bumpy. And I just wanted to quickly give you an example of some of the slides that are in our presentation. So this one's about confidence. Confidence isn't just walking into a room and holding your head high, because although that's important, that's a very shallow goal. It's about having a strong mindset, being able to overcome challenges, being able to motivate yourself, and having a plan to achieve goals. We love this quote, which is, confidence turns our most ambitious dreams into reality. We think about the fact that you can have a dream, but if you don't have the confidence to carry it out, it just stays a dream in your head. So it's the difference between being inspired and actually getting started and really getting things done. And after doing a visioning exercise where they're supposed to think of the moment when they've achieved their goal, whatever that is that they've identified, we ask them, what does it feel like when you've achieved this? What does your life look like now? Who's surrounding you and celebrating with you? What kind of impact are you having on yourself and others? What do you know now that you didn't know before? And what have you learned? And these questions constantly, help us constantly try to lock in the learning and make all of our exercises more meaningful. We ask them to share, because if the coach is just a talking head on a computer screen, they don't feel engaged. And the icing on the cake is that they get to practice speaking in front of a group. All of our workshops are interactive and include worksheets. And there are also 1-hour in-person mentor sessions that I don't attend with the mentors and with Farida Sarah and Moses a few days after each session to discuss key learnings. So we talked to them about the heliotropic effect, which this is a metaphor. People, like sunflowers, turn towards the light. So surround yourself with people that encourage you and bring out the best in you. And how can you be a sunflower for another girl who might be struggling? So they learn the importance of empathy, which is also the most important quality to succeed, well, I would say in life and on a team and in the working world. And if there's no forward action, it's just a conversation. So we want them to take small, achievable steps towards whatever it is they want to do. And if they succeed, they'll gain confidence. And if they don't, they'll learn something. So we normalize failure and we want them to get comfortable with failure. And I think this has been one of the most successful messages of the program. And we talked to them about finding their strengths, leveraging their strengths, using them to achieve goals. Talents can be squandered, resources can be lost. But when all seems completely lost, we still have our character strengths. And I made this slide to call out one of the girls during one of her workshop in the second cohort, because I heard that she had walked a few miles to Farida Sarah's house, knocking on her window to beg her to allow us to accept her into the second cohort, because she had heard so many good things about the program. So I called out that girl in a workshop and I said, let's talk about the word tenacity and what that means. All right, so what's the result of all of this? I mean, it sounds like words, but actually it's been an incredible, we do a survey before each cohort starts, and then we do a survey after to understand, what are the impacts that we're making. Farida Sarah, do you want to talk through this?
Oh, yes. The mentorship program that we've taken the girls through has really helped them a lot in terms of boosting their confidence. They can now express themselves freely. They reach out to us whenever they are faced with something, with a challenge. They even share their friends' challenges with us, even those that are not in the program. And we feel proud that they trust us with their problems, and they see that we can help them tackle them in an appropriate way. They feel empowered. They can stand in front of the rest and say, "I'm proud of being in this team, and in future this is what I want to do." And being here has taught me to do this and that in order to be that which I want to be in future. There is hope. Initially, they never saw light at the end of the tunnel because of the girl child education is not valued so much here in Africa. Parents prefer to take boys to school than girls. So they feel more hopeful about the future because they have been empowered, they have been pushed to believe in themselves, and now they believe in themselves. Some even come out and say after school they want to be mentors, they want to be part of our organization, they want to reach out to other girls to empower them too. And it's a good thing to hear that they want to be mentors. They have been mentored and now they want to mentor the rest. So there are so many impacts, tremendous results that we get from reaching out to these girls, and I hope we get more and more of this positivity coming from them. Yeah, and that gives us energy to help them even more, to reach out to them, and we get beautiful testimonials that really motivate us too. So thank you so much, Val.
Yeah, thank you, Farida Sarah. Yeah, and I think the fact that they can just express themselves more, when they first start the program, they're extremely shy. Like, I don't know if that's a cultural thing, if they don't, if they're beaten down by so many challenges that they face in life, I don't know. But by the end, they're all talking, raising their hand, and really having a sense of pride. And one of the things that they did was they created a presentation to give to the boys, and they invited the boys into the last workshop so that the boys would start to develop empathy for them and the challenges that they go through. So because it's very different being a boy and being a girl in Kenya and what they go through. Awesome. So on the slideshow that I sent you, there's this incredible testimonial from a teacher about all of the great things that the program has brought to the community. So what's happening in 2023? Our third cohort starts in February when they go back to school with a new school. And we do our cohorts with 30 girls because we want them to have the psychological safety to be able to share their feelings. And one thing that we're really excited about is that we've hired 2 of the graduating seniors that have just graduated from high school, Sheila and Doreen. Sheila is in the video that I sent you guys, and they've now passed their exams, and they're going to be our full-time paid interns. So we're trying to walk the talk and inspire them to go out and get careers, and we're going to show them how to do that. And we have a dream of building a community center with computers that girls can use, because we realize that you can teach leadership skills, but if they don't have a computer to work on, they can't apply to university, they can't do research, and anything on their horizon becomes limited to the community in which they live. And none of them have computers, by the way. They don't even have phones. We'd love to buy them washable period underpants, these underpants that they're making for women and teen girls that you can wash, but they're quite expensive. They're $50 for a pack of 3. So that would be, I think, life-changing for a lot of them. And payment of school fees for those that cannot, because education is not free. It's free up to an extent, but then you have to pay a school fee. And a lot of the girls drop out of schools mid-term because they can't afford their school fees. And what are school fees? They're $100 per semester, probably about $300 a year, which is a lot of money for people in Kenya. And possibly take them on field trips to visit universities in Nairobi so they can get started really dreaming about where they're going to go after high school. And possibly exchange programs for girls that, they can go to in other countries and see how the rest of the world lives. So here's the blueprint for our community center that we hope to build on a piece of land that our lovely Moses has kindly donated. And what's the support plan? So, we know that dreams need to be sustainable. Therefore, we are working as a team with an organization on the ground in Homa Bay County towards the goal of building things that will help fund the program on an ongoing basis. In the meantime, what do we need and where might a person's donations go? Obviously, one-time donations can help pay for a girl's school fees or sanitary towels, and obviously will help us toward our goal of building a community center, which we'd like to break ground on next July. And also something that's really meaningful are monthly donations, even $25, which will allow us to be able to count on funds coming in to pay for our running costs. And just to tell you, what the big goal is for 2023, it's to pay the running costs. The cost of the community center will be around $54,000, and the community center will include a library, 25 computers, lab space, an area for 80 girls to hold workshops and to attend in person. And, possibly we could have some underpant packs. And if anybody knows, anybody that thinks, let us know. And what we've been doing over the past 9 months is trying to make an impact, build our credibility in the community, gather testimonials. And now some of our ideas around fundraising are doing some GoFundMe campaigns, Moses and Farida Sarah are running a fundraising event in Kenya and abroad, and possibly will do things abroad. Grants from international organizations, in-person meetings with potential donors. So those are some of our ideas, although we'd love to hear from you guys. And also there will be, if for anyone that's interested, there are a few spaces left on our humanitarian leadership mission. And what that's going to be is we will fly to Rusinga Island from Nairobi, and we'll have 2 or 3 days of workshops, leadership workshops in person, which might be 3 hours a day, meeting with the community. There's going to be a celebration event with the parents and the teachers to thank them for their participation. And then we're going to head to the Masai Mara and do 3 days of a game drive, and then back to Nairobi. So if anybody's interested, just let me know about that. There we go. And now I'm going to share just a very, very quick video. It's 3 minutes. Okay. Technology. Okay. And great. Sorry. Here we go. First of all, one of our girls, and one of the things that she's really happy about.
I'm Vida from Kamasingwe Secondary School in DBR program.
Thank you so much, Vida. What did you like best about the DBR program?
How they conduct, manage, and their topics, and how they teach us.
Wow. How are you different now after having gone through the program?
Yeah. After having gone with the program, I learned so many things about how we can cope with the environment and the confidence. Now, my confidence was very low, but now I have my confidence, and that confidence made me to fight for the president in our school, and I won.
Wow. Congratulations.
So she won the presidency of her school, which is really an incredible thing. And she might be the first girl to ever be president of her student class. So that's like really amazing. And now I asked at the end of one of our weekly calls, I asked Farida and Sarah a few questions. So I just wanted to share that with you. It's 3 minutes. So Moses, I wanted to ask you a question, which is, and both of you a question actually. Where do you see DBR in the future?
Okay, well, for truth, DBR in future, I'm seeing to be one of the biggest university here in Kenya, which attracts all the students all over the world and stay there and learn and get everything. And most so, as a unit, we have the girls' culture to be taught in that university one day.
Wow.
You see,
Big dream.
big dream. So you see DBR as being a university one day.
One day to be a university, whether I am alive or I'm not, I'm dead. One day DBR will be a very biggest university here in Kenya, in the entire Africa and world at large.
I hope so. And what's your dream for Dream, Believe, Repeat, Farida?
Wow. I have very beautiful pictures in my head. And one day when they become a reality, I'll be the happiest human being. Personally, from experience of getting married at a very tender age, and having a horrible life experience, I would love to see Dream, Believe, Repeat being a home, a safe place for girls who are being sent away to get married or who are being manipulated to get married early, so that they can have a place they can feel safe being around, and a place they can stay in until they achieve that which they want to become and become independent people in the society. So Dream, Believe, Repeat in future should not only be a space for mentoring girls, but also a home that welcomes them and they feel safe being around there. Yeah.
That's a beautiful, inspirational dream. Yeah, we started this as, an opportunity to share some leadership skills with girls and possibly get them to university. And now we have, girls, parents and families bringing their girls to us and, and looking at us as like a home. So that's a really wonderful thing. And of course, we're going to have our university one day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It will, if we can join our hands and work as a team, wherever you are, then everything will be possible. As our mantra says that in God, everything is possible.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for that. Okay, so none of us would be here today if Moses Weke, pretty much one of the loveliest men I have ever met in my entire life, hadn't reached out to me in February. So Moses, can you say a few words while I cry and blow my nose?
Thank you, Val. I think this program has been transformative, and there's a lot of hope from the girls and the community at large. And they're seeing their future being bright, and at the end of the tunnel, there's some light which is coming out. So it means that when we join our hands together as a team, as we are here, then everything is possible. As our mantra says, we can make it, which we have done it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and one of the reasons that, or I would say the reason that you reached out to me is because your own sister, when she was a teen, became pregnant and had a very terrible result, which is that she lost her womb. And it kind of destroyed the rest of her life, because in Kenya, if you cannot bear a child, then a man won't marry you. If you can't get married, you don't have value. It's like a whole cyclical thing that is really important to you. And that's why one of the reasons why you're so dedicated to everything we do. So anyway, so thank you. So now, does anybody have any questions for us or any feedback on our programs? And we are takers for any advice that you would like to give.
Well, Val, hi, it's Trisha. Well, first of all, it's so inspiring. This was just such a great presentation. And I feel like I learned a ton, which was so great. I've heard you talk about Dream, Believe, Repeat many times, but this was really informative. One of the questions I had was, how does a girl apply? How do you cut it off at 30 girls?
Oh, it's very hard. So for example, for the first cohort, there was 120 girls that wanted to be in the program. They're given surveys, the questionnaires, like, why do you want to do this? What is so meaningful about this? What are some of the things that you've struggled with? What would this program give you? And we have to go through those 120, and we were like crying on the Zoom call, and and then I remember the last day when we were deciding, like, it was the cutoff. Moses and Farida Sarah called me. They're like, all right, we did something really terrible, and I hope you're going to be okay with it. And I was like, what did you do? They're like, well, we let in 31, okay? Because there was this one girl who seemed so compelling, and she came to see us, and we let in 31. I was like, all right, we'll do 31, no problem. But, if it's a forum of 120 girls, it's really hard for them to be able to share and speak. And so we have to keep that rule, but we're hoping that, there's going to be a trickle down effect to everybody else in the community. Good
So
question.
your university, then hopefully your university will have more than 30.
Thousands.
Yeah.
That's the dream.
Right.
Anybody else?
Hey Val, nice to see you.
Hi, thank you so much for coming, Susan.
You're welcome. I'm curious, this is so great what you're doing. What is the support from the girls' family, greater community like?
Yeah, good question. So we have had, in the beginning, we had a lot of like confusion, you know, who are these people? What are they doing? Why are they keeping our girls during one whole class during school? Like, what's going on? And then we had parents coming to the school asking Farida Sarah and Moses if their girl could be in the next cohort. And they've heard so much about it. We've had them come and thank us. We've had the directors of the school, and apparently the girls are paying attention more in class. So the teachers are really thankful. And in terms of financial support, you know, it's a very poor community in Kenya. So they give what they can. And we have a committee of 15 people who is, so when you start a CBO, which is like an NGO, you must have a committee. You must designate people to be in charge of your CBO. And those 15 people have dedicated a certain amount of money going forward, as long as we, as long as our program is operating. So we do have things like that. But, and we're trying to reach out to some, to the governor, to the government, to get some donations and grants on the ground. Does that answer your question?
It does, yeah. I mean, yes, and yes, and I guess I was also thinking about there must be barriers that some of these girls face in terms of whether it's family members or community who don't support what they're trying to do, that pressure to get married, the pressure to have sex, whatever it is, like where do they find, what are the challenges there?
Yeah, so there is a lot of pressure to get married. Moses, Farida Sarah, do you want to, address that one? Like, what is the pressure for?
Yeah, you know, here in Kenya, the girl child education is not valued as boy child. So they do allow their daughters to get married so early in age. And whether they are dropping out of school is not a concern to the family or the parent. So that's why we see a gap, and this gap is what we want to join the dots so that we complete the whole circle.
Yeah. And one of the conversations that I had with some of the parents is, you know, would you rather have a girl, you know, your daughter getting married? And maybe, because by the way, when they get married, the family receives a dowry, which is cows, goats, money, you know, so they receive a dowry from the groom's family. So that's a way of making money, you know. And I say to them, would you rather receive a one-time dowry, or would you rather your daughter go to university and be able to send you money for the rest of her working life? We're not going to change Kenya. We're not going to change the world, but we're going to change the life of some of the girls, and we're going to get them to a better place. And hopefully that will have a ripple effect.
Thanks.
Awesome. Anybody else?
What is the timeline for trying to get the facility built? Or is there a timeline right now?
There's no timeline, like no one's standing over us. That piece of land is there. But the moment we have $50,000, we can start building it. And we feel like if you don't see it, you know, you're never going to make it happen. So our goal in our head is July, when we're in Kenya, so that we can bring all of the people that are coming on the trip to the groundbreaking ceremony.
Awesome.
Great. Shout out to Suzanne Oshri, who's calling in from California, who actually went on the trip with us in 2018, and she was a little, I would say, upset about some of the schools that she saw there, some of the primary schools that she saw there. So she has built something called the Bright Light Academy for small children. And it's a really incredible place. And you guys can look it up on Facebook and learn about the work that she's doing there. Vanessa.
Hi, Valerie. I wanted to know how old the program, how old are the girls in the program?
Yeah, so they're 16 to 18. And we had a group, the second cohort was more slanted towards the younger girls. And we found that it wasn't as powerful as the former group, which was like the 17, 18-year-olds. So we feel like we'd like to stick with the 17, 18-year-olds because they're more mature and they're more like ready to receive these concepts and they participate more and things like that. So, yeah.
Okay. And I'll talk to you a little bit more. We had talked before about those period panties.
Yep.
And I'm not sure that reaching out to Spanx is the easiest way. And I was thinking that the mass production in China is really something you should go through.
That would be awesome. And also,
and I'll help you on that.
thank you so much. Like, that's why we're doing this call. And that's a great idea because maybe, on our website, we could offer those panties and it could be part of our sustainable business plan. Imagine.
Because you're going to be down from $50 for 3 to probably $10 to 3 for 3.
Okay, awesome.
Probably. So
Awesome.
let's
Look
do
at
that.
Moses.
Let's do that.
Yeah,
I'm very happy about that. Thank you very much for that in this meeting. Thank you. We appreciate it, and thank you very much.
Let's hope China has their facilities working though.
Val,
yeah.
as your sister, just want to say how proud I am of you. And, you put your heart and soul into this. All I can think of is our dad and how happy he would be, how proud he would be of you right now. And you've made such a nice friend in Moses. And this has become part of your family. So onward. Cheers for you, girl, sister.
Thank you. Well, having an older sister that is dedicated to helping others has been a great inspiration for me. So thank you.
You're doing a fabulous job and whatever I can do to help.
You've been doing it for, I won't give your age, but a long time. So
one more year, honey.
Right. Oh God. All right. Yeah, shoot. All right. Anybody else? We're getting to top of the hour. So I know you all have busy lives and you have to head off to your cocktail parties. But yeah, anything else?
Yes, one more thing.
Yeah.
So as we end this, what do you want us to do? And what is your goal for us? How do we spread the word for you? What is your goal for how much you want to raise in the next 2 months?
Yeah. So if you guys know anybody that is, that you feel that this cause would be meaningful to, I will send everybody an email with a link to the Women Like Us Foundation website where they can go on. There's a donor box page. And when they donate, they have a few different choices. They do what they can. And donor box will spit them out a beautiful letter that they can give their taxes to get a tax deduction. And yeah, spread the word to anyone, post, maybe make a post on Facebook and tag our website, which also leads to a donor box. The donor box on our website does not give you a a tax deduction form. So if it's a small donation, that's great, but otherwise go through the Women Like Us Foundation. But I will map it out in an email so that it's easy for everybody to share. And yeah, that would be really meaningful. Thank you for asking that, because that's really the whole point of why we're here. Yeah. Awesome.
But your goal is 50,000, right? Or was that it?
It would be 50,000 for the community center, and then we need about another 25 for all the other things that we want to do next year. So. All right, you guys.
Great
presentation,
Val.
Thank you. Wait, we promised you. So Moses, I hope you participate. Well, your kids are going to wake up. Turn off the volume if your kids are going to wake up. But hold on, we promised you something.
Are we doing Heaven Knows, Val?
No, we're not.
Can't hear it.
That's what I do.
We cannot.
I literally do this at the end of every workshop.
Cannot hear it.
Choosing your battle.
Okay.
Kick up and dust yourself off and back in the saddle. You're on the front. Everyone's watching. You know it's serious. We're getting closer. This isn't over.
Okay. Need a little bit more.
Pressure's on. You feel it, but you got it all. Believe it. When you fall, get up. Oh, oh. And if you fall, get up. Eh, eh. Sangalewa. 'Cause this is Africa. Samina, this time for Africa. Listen to your God. This is our motto. Your time to shine. Don't wait in line. Y vamos por todo. People are raising their expectations. Go on and feed them. This is your moment. No hesitation. Today's your day. I feel it. You pave the way. Believe it. If you get down, get up. Oh, oh. When you get down, get up. Hey, hey. This time for Africa. Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sakalewa. Ana, waka, ah. Samina, mina, eh, eh. Waka, waka, eh, eh. Samina, mina, sakalewa. It's time for Africa.
Hey, Moses.
Valerie? Valerie?
Valerie,
can you hear me? Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Oh, hey, Mom.
I've been here the whole time, but I was pushing the wrong buttons. But anyway, okay, of course. And I am so proud of you.
Thank you, Mom. That's so sweet of you. That's so meaningful.
Since the day you were born, I've always been proud of you. Now, it's very interesting because today I had a long talk with somebody who lost a fiance, and I told her about Andrew. And I feel that he has been with us.
Yeah.
He's been with us because he knew he had greatness in you. He knew that, and you were very special. And I miss you terribly.
Thank you.
And you've raised two beautiful, adventurous children, and I will begin giving you some goodies, okay?
Okay, that's good to hear. Thank you. And it's funny you mentioned Andrew, because the last trip that Andrew Seligson made, Andrew was my boyfriend, everybody, who died of cancer when I was very young. And the last trip that he made was to Kenya. So it's come full circle. And yeah.
Yeah. Just this afternoon, it's
came to me. I was at the office trying to straighten up all these crazy people. And he came to me and it was just, so I said, you need to know about this. My daughter lives with one kidney. She was, involved with this and the whole thing. And I told them, and they were all sitting there with their mouths wide open. And honey, just take care of yourself for me, okay?
Thank
And I
you.
will be taking care of you. I'll be taking care of you, okay?
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Moses. Thank you so much for opening
Thank you
this up to
guys.
her.
Thank you. Bless you
Okay.
all for showing up.
Love you, honey. It took me a while to get
My
into
lovely
this thing.
friend Kathleen from Canada, who lives in Japan, like pretty much one of my only
Awesome.
friends here.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi there. How are you doing?
Québécois. Thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Suzanne, Kara, Trisha, Lozzie, Susan, Lori.
Robin,
Lori from
Jensen.
Dubai. What? Lori from
Valerie, let me know what you need. You know, you have carte blanche, open checkbook with me for whatever you need for your marketing needs. So
Thank you.
it's all on me. Just say the word and I'm here to help you evangelize and spread the word.
Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Lots of
Love
love.
you.
Happy
Love you.
holidays.
Bye.
Inspiring.
So
Bye,
much.
honey.
Bye,
Bye,
Val.
Bye.
Bye, Val.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you. Bye-bye.
Love you.
End recording.
Okay.